Hey guys, welcome back. We are going to be working on the Bonneville's engine today. We are kind of held up with the transmission right now. In an early video, we did say that we were going to be taking a week off, so that would actually be this weekend, but it is Sunday and I just want to take some time to work on this just a little bit. We still need to talk to a transmission shop. We did get word back from Triple Edge Performance that the differential in this is most definitely messed up. I mean, we already kind of knew that. And then ZZP, we contacted them about the input shaft that we got. It's going to be kind of hard to see, but it is kind of gross, and it looked a bit rusty even, especially up here. And asked them about it, also why they didn't mention they didn't have the Teflon rings already installed on here. Turns out Triple Edge Performance does that, so we might end up sending this to them or just a normal transmission shop. I don't know how common it is. Tristan says that he read that it's common for them to have this tool, so I'm not sure. Looking up online, it is like a $200 and some part, so we definitely don't want to have to buy that. If we could just send it to a shop and have them do it, it'd be better. And then, so we're just waiting on the differential and the input shaft stuff, and we're able to proceed and get the gear ratio, the new chain, and input shaft in, and get the transmission back together with the differential and everything. So in the interest of getting things done quickly, I'm going to go ahead and start working on the engine here. We do have the cylinder heads back from the machine shop. They have new springs and retainers in. All I'll need to do is get the head gaskets ready, probably just clean up the surface real quick, get head gaskets on, and then torque everything to spec. And then I'll be able to put the push rods and rockers on. These are all cleaned up and ready to go. I do need to sort through some of this stuff and find where we put all the top swap gear. It's probably down here somewhere, so there's the head gaskets right there. So I'm going to go ahead and move this out and get ready to start putting this stuff together. All right, got the engine moved over here. Basically what we have are our new cylinder heads. The machine shop, they did resurface it, and because they did say that what we did should have worked, but there was a good chance it could have failed after a little bit, so better just get it resurfaced. We got the new valve springs on and retainers, the L style, and don't quote me on this, I think it's like 90 pound, 95 pound, or 105, I'm not sure, but a little bit better than stock, because we do have a bigger cam in it. We got these Felpro head gaskets that came with the top swap kit. We have new reusable rocker bolts. We're going to be reusing these push rods, so let's clean them up, and the retainers, and then here are the new head bolts. So I'll go ahead and probably get the camera set up. I'll just clean off the surface here, make sure there's nothing on it that might be a problem, inspect the heads, get the head gaskets on, and then set the heads on. I'll probably start on this side, because it's kind of more angled at me, so I can go ahead and get that set. Alright, got this left side cylinder head on. Have not torqued these down yet. We do have the torque specs. We did it pretty much the same as that engine over there. Same engine. So it's, I believe, 30 some foot-pounds and then 130 degrees of additional rotation. I wish they would just give me a torque number, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. Basically just the original torque number and then 30 degrees on all of these. And then once we have that, I'll be able to put the rockers on. So those go in here. We have reusable rocker bolts. We'll be using those stock length push rods, and should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and work on getting the other cylinder head on, and then we'll torque all these down. So Jessie wanted to come say hi. She's we never showed her before, but she's our Lab Pyrenees Schnauzer mix. Yeah, she heard something. She actually, the shovel over there fell, so she started barking. But just thought to show you guys our puppy here. So before I proceed with doing all this, I just want to kind of show you how to determine what head gasket is what side. There are many markings on here. Right there, you can actually see it says right side, so this is the right side cylinder head. Right there it says front, so this direction faces front, and that says top right there, so that faces the top of the engine. These triangle holes are for the push rods. These circle holes, that's for coolant passages and the head studs. And yeah, that's basically how you can tell what side they go on. Kind of similar, I mean, not so much similar, but you just have to face the exhaust ports and the inlet ports on the cylinder head to whatever side. It makes it pretty easy to determine which side is which. Also wanted to show you guys these cylinder heads. The machine shop did a really good job with it. Also, new valve seals and seats, and new valves actually throughout the entire thing. I think all of the exhaust valves on both cylinder heads were bad, so they needed to get those put in. So these cylinder heads should work much better than how they were before. But I'm going to go ahead and set up the camera and get these put back on. Alright, we got both cylinder heads on. Just like the other side, I did not torque this side down. I will need to follow a torque pattern. I actually might need a second person to hold the engine so it doesn't move while we're torquing these. But yeah, both cylinder heads are on, and it should be good to go. I mean, I do also need to put the push rods on and the rockers. So I'll do that once these are torqued down. So, look up the torque spec and get going and see what I can do by myself. And then once we have that, this should be ready to put the intake manifold on. And, I mean, we still need to do the back cover. There's a couple things we still need to do with this engine before it's completely ready. But that's where we're at. One thing I do like about these head bolts are they already had, look like some type of sealing compound on the threads. Normally when you put stuff like this in, you need like Teflon tape. I have some sitting over there. And then also, on the bolt head itself, it had what looked like some type of anti-seize, so they won't get stuck here if we ever need to take this apart. So that's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and get my torque wrench out and look up the torque specs for these. Alright guys, I got the torque wrench out here. Basically the torque spec for this motor is, the cylinder head bolts, 37 foot-pounds, then an additional 120 degrees turn. And then this here is the torque pattern. Want to look at that. Basically, I just googled 3800 head bolt torque specs. So that would mean this one is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you just follow that torque pattern, 37 foot-pounds all across, and then the 120 degrees extra. So that's just a little bit, 90 degree and then add 30 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and get torquing these heads down and probably set the camera here for you. Yeah, so definitely want to grab a buddy when you're torquing these down. I mean, I could have just like wedged this in something so it wouldn't move, but yeah, definitely helps with somebody else to get these torqued down. Just need to do the other side now. All right, we got this side torqued down. We just cranked it out. Just wanted to do real fast. You can see some of the orange bit that they put on this bolt head, like I mentioned. I'll just clean up some of this, I guess. Don't want it getting mixed in there. But now we're good to put the push rods on, the rockers, and I'll probably end it off there. All right, one thing I did forget to put on, you can still put it on once the cylinder heads are on, but did not put this on. These are the guides for the push rods, the lifters, and the push rods go in the center of these holes here. So yeah, those basically just slide onto the lifters, and then you just tighten these down. I think this is like a 3/8 or something. And then once we have that, I'm going to put the push rods on. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten these down and get the push rods in there. We got to check preload for these new lifters and retainers, or the springs and retainers. I guess Tristan sent me a website that explains it, and we'll proceed with that. So we got the vacuum cleaner set up just to get all the little bits from the bolt heads and these off. These are the rockers. I'm just going to dip them in oil and poke them through. Basically, this is what you do here. Take one. This is just some 10W30, so break-in oil. Let's get some oil on both sides. And then you poke them through to the down to the lifters. So that falls in place down there, and it's sitting on top of a lifter now. So we'll go ahead and get these in and then put the rockers on and test for clearances. So I'm going to go ahead and dry my hands, and then we can get these rockers on. And then we got some of these reusable rocker bolts. They'll just go hand tight for now, and then I'll torque them down. They're like, I think it was like 17 foot-pounds. It's not very much at all. So I'm actually not certain if these are directional, which one goes on which side. I think they go on either side. I'll try not dropping any of these. It's basically how they sit. So the push rods go on this end, and these sit on the valves. And then we have these boys to screw in.
Here you have your torque spec.
I'm not going to torque them down just yet.
Are you just going to seat them?
Yeah, and then Tristan wanted me to rotate the engine until the intake valve closes and the exhaust opens. That way this is pushed all the way down, and see if we can rotate it. So I got these kind of just snugged down and not torque them down, and I can kind of spin them all of them. Some have more resistance than others. That could just be because I didn't torque them all down. But I'm going to read through the post that Tristan sent me and figure out exactly how to check the preload. I'm sure it's probably going to be fine, but I want to make sure before we build this all and, you know, blow it up. So. So I got all of these rockers pretty much centered on there. You can see these two are actually open, I think. So you can see there that valve's actually open. Same with this inlet valve. So I guess to test that, so this exhaust valve is open. This one would be closed. So I think they want you to test and see if you can rotate it. Yeah, so you can see that rotating right there. So I'm going to read it more in depth and see if I can find a like a video that talks about it. So this exhaust valve is open, and I can't rotate it by hand.
I can't rotate either one of those, actually. The inlet or the exhaust.
Yeah, I can rotate this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll also have to do some more reading on it. The ones that appear to be depressed here, some reason cannot rotate them. I don't know if that you're supposed to be able to. But yeah, I'm going to do some more reading on that, I guess, because I just don't know. This one's better lighting here. I mean, everything seems to move fine. I'm not hearing anything like touch or hurt each other. You can see the lifters moving on the camshaft. There's a little hole there I saw them through. Yeah, I mean, I'd say we're good, but we're definitely going to do some more research on this to figure out what exactly we need to do. When we rotated Project F's engine after putting its rockers on, it sounded fine to me and moved fine. Nothing was out of the ordinary. I certainly didn't check this, or actually pushing some coolant or something out as you're rotating it. That's fine. Yeah, let's stop moving it. Yeah, the water, or I guess the water pump wouldn't be moving anything. There's no volume of water in there, but something's dripping out since we're rotating it. That's fine. So, yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and end it off here. I don't know if Tristan left his valve covers that we can put back on here.
I think you still have them.
Yeah. So I'm just going to clean up here and end it off here. Basically, I just want to do some progress while we had the time. Just want to get this out of the garage and out of the driveway as fast as we can. So this did save us a lot of time getting the cylinder heads on here and getting the Valvetrain all on. I think it's fine. I'm going to do some more research and figure out if there's anything else that we need to do to test it. But I think it's fine. So at this point, we're good to put the valve covers on, get the intake manifold on, supercharger. I think the last things we need to do for this is get the rear cover on, and then rest of the accessories. And this should be good to go on. Then we just need to figure out this whole mess. Need to get the differential for it. Need to get those Teflon rings put on the new input shaft. And then we can construct this back together. Tristan wants to paint it. He also wants to paint this engine. And then drop it into the Bonneville. So once it's in the Bonneville, I'm thinking it'll just go to his house and he'll be able to wire it back up. So, yeah. Otherwise, thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and we'll see you next time.